ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Retro Warriors, episode 531.
Woo.
As always, I'm your host, Justin Baker, and as always, I'm joined by Viable Human Chris Saturn.
Hi, Justin.
Hi, Saturn.
So we've been doing this for a minute now.
Yeah, 530 previous episodes, not counting specials.
How good are you at turning off the pre-show and turning on show mode in your mind?
I don't know. It's not one of those things I can answer. I think externally it probably works out. Internally, it's panic mode the whole time.
Yeah. I at least have some previous stage experience to draw from for this, where, like backstage, we'd just be, making dick and fart jokes and laughing at each other. And then you'd have to go on stage and immediately be a character. But I wasn't sure how well you had you handled the transition. Because sometimes, but even while you're introducing me, it's like, oh no, he's still feeling pre-show a little bit.
I think what it is because this isn't a stage show.
Yeah.
The show's whatever we want it to be.
True.
And so there's always this inkling in the back of my head of like, you just be fucking weird for the whole, nobody, it's your show. Do what you want. And I think it's
halfway through turning into a He-Man show.
It's like my dumb brain threatening myself the whole time. That's what it is. Housekeeping. We do have the after party guy. Our producer guy's going to be on the show.
You just call him Mr. Guy?
I think I said our producer
guy.
Oh,
our producer guy.
Call him,
sorry.
I'm going to call him Mr. Guy now. Mr. Guy's going to be on the show. Mr. Guy was his father. Okay. Guy's gonna be on the show. He hadn't been on in a while, so please stay tuned after the ending theme.
It's gonna be very exciting
for that segment.
Talk to us about all the things that he has seen and done in the time that he's been gone.
Yeah, everything. Totality. My week. I sat down and played a couple days of Vampire Survivors. I was kind of taking a break. I've been a little RPG heavy lately, and I was like, I want something that I can turn my brain off
and just immediately shoot the dopamine in there.
There is like, I don't think I've fully unlocked everything from any of the DLCs. Because I don't generally go to Vampire Survivors for it to be a game where I got to have the wiki open and be like, how do I do this and how do I do that and how do I do this thing?
I need to complete all the things.
Like every now and then I'll be like, oh, I want that character, so I'll go look it up. And so I was sitting down like, no, let's actually start unlocking some shit. And I started working on it. And of course I've got 17 DLCs worth of stuff all piled on top of each other, half unlocked and half not unlocked. But started doing that and just God, what a game. It's one of those games that I'm like so excited for the future Ultimate Edition that comes out that hopefully gets like a gigantic physical limited. It's one of the few games that I'm really like, I can't wait for them to release some $300 limited edition in 5 years when they're done adding stuff to it. Because I'm all over that.
Every time I play Vampire Survivors, I just look at the amount of content and it just feels like this shouldn't exist.
It feels like they're cheating.
Right.
It feels like compared to every other company, like you're cheating.
Yeah.
Because I was looking at it. I've been playing a lot of PS5 lately, and I don't have it on PS5. And I went and I looked, and it was like to buy everything, and all the DLC was like $13.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And I was like, that's people are over here talking about how Grand Theft Auto 6 might cost $100.
Yeah.
And Vampire Survivors is like, here's more content than anything for $3.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Yeah. And if you get your
also,
$3 of fun worth out of it, here's double that content for another $2.
Also pecked away at some Balatro.
Nice.
I was just kind of playing it on my Portal just to test out in-home streaming around my house. My Portal performance, I did want to update everybody on that, has been, it's gone from exactly sufficient to slightly mediocre.
That's unfortunate.
I've been using my PS4 for streaming in my bedroom because I have strong Wi-Fi signal in there, but for whatever reason, the Portal just kind of has not enough connection issues that I can't play, but enough that I can't play action games, and I get the little connection signal problem every once in a while. But then my PS4, 10 feet away, over Wi-Fi, rock solid PS5 streaming to it works great.
Of course, yeah. All that makes sense.
So it just, I'm still using it, but just I'm a little disappointed. I've veered into the slight disappointment category. Still picking away at Final Fantasy 11. I hit level 50.
Nice.
And on Black Mage, and have not returned in a few days. I figured I'd cool off on it and give listeners and everybody else time to catch up and come play and stuff if they want to, and I'll circle back around to it. It's not like it costs me money every single month to keep access to the game alive, right? So that's fine. That's fine.
I accidentally let my my subscription lapse, and then when I went to go renew it, they had started their promotion, their cross promotion with FF14. So now my new month costs less than it would have if I had just left the subscription running.
Damn.
Yeah.
I had the worst timing for starting Final Fantasy 11.
Saw that.
I also Silksong came out, and I cannot stop hearing about it.
It's true. Yeah.
Because I do all my news via Fresh RSS, so it's all RSS feeds, and I mean I'm getting 20, 30 stories a day about just random Silksong stuff, like just
I am not
just
getting
random things about the game. And so I was like, maybe I'll go try Hollow Knight again. I'd quit it because it got too hard. And I went and I restarted it because it's on PlayStation Plus.
Yeah.
And I've put in maybe 8 to 10 hours on it. For people that know the game, I'm just past, like I just beat the Soul Master, who's the boss in the City of Tears zone of the game, which is the third or fourth zone, something like that.
Probably depends on which directions you go.
Yeah, I'm sure that's not much information for people.
Right.
And I'm not enjoying it. It's just it's so mean. It's such a mean ass game.
That was really my only issue with it. It is just kind of cruel.
Yeah, it's cute. It's fun.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge search action fan, so I can't speak to how good of a search action it is. For me,
it's a solid one.
For me, it's perpetually confusing and has terrible direction and never helps you figure out where you're supposed to be or go or what to do.
Part that I like.
But that's my struggle with every search action game. So I think that's just a me clashing with the genre thing.
Right.
But in the wake of Silksong, I was seeing renewed arguments of like, oh, Hollow Knight is one of the greatest masterpieces ever created of all of gaming, and I'm like, I didn't feel that when I played it. It seemed like a cute, fun search action game that was way too mean for me to put too much time into.
Yeah.
I
could use a few more accessibility things.
I don't want to say I've come around on it. I'm enjoying it more this time, but it's just, God, I'm doing that thing where you're playing a game and you're like, man, this game is really hard, and you can see it ramping up in front of you.
Yeah.
And you're kind of mentally gauging like how much effort you're needing to put in just to get over the minor speed bumps you're currently at, and you can see the mountains ahead of you.
Yeah.
And I don't like that feeling of like I can see myself hitting the wall.
Right.
And granted, I did hit some walls, and I had to go. You can't grind in the game, which is frustrating. That's how I get through the Souls games. Is I just go grind till I'm level 1 billion, and then it's less of a problem.
Yeah, you have to find specific power ups or health ups or whatever.
Yeah, and they're kind of gated. You can't get all of them all at once. So I did go back and start finding power ups and learning that stuff, and that helped a little bit. I still haven't beaten the Mantis Lords. I know they're supposed to be a big difficulty check in the game.
Right.
They just seem really mean.
Yeah.
I fought them once or twice, and I was like, I don't have to do it. I'll come back later.
I accidentally found the Mantis Lords, I think, earlier than I was supposed to, and just lucked my way through beating them on the first attempt. And as soon as they were dead, I just stared at the screen for a minute and was like, that shouldn't have happened. There's no way I should have just not died there.
I realized something about myself because I was I was just scrolling like Lemmy or something, and someone in like one of the gaming subreddits said, hey, if you could delete a boss encounter from any Souls-like game, which one would you delete? And my first thought was all of them.
Right.
And it was this realization that I don't like boss fights.
I normally like boss fights.
There are some genres where they're fun, but like specifically in Souls-like games and search action games and stuff, I like running around and fighting enemies and traversing the corridors and stuff, but the bosses give me anxiety. If you gave me Hollow Knight and just deleted the bosses, I would have so much more fun with that.
See, my bigger problem with Hollow Knight is all of the non-boss enemies, because they're everywhere and they deal just enough damage that you can't just, brute force your way through them. You have to like stop and dodge and all that shit. And that just takes up so much of my time that prevents me from, getting to everything. And so,
No,
yeah.
I don't mind those. I find some satisfaction, and I know that at a objective level, it's kind of the same thing, but sort of learning a corridor and where the enemy placements are, and memorizing the kind of lines you have to take to go through them. I enjoy that,
Yeah.
but then the boss encounter anxiety of memorizing the boss patterns and stuff, for whatever reason, that's different to me, and I don't like it. And I know that, like, objectively, it's just sort of pattern recognition and memorization and then skill on top of that, but I don't know what it is. Anyway, all this to say, very pretty game, very fun to play game. Just, man, God, I wish I had easy mode. It'd be a lot nicer if it did.
Right.
Also in non-gaming related news, but semi-gaming related because it's Shigesato Itoi related. My wife got me a Hobonichi planner.
Nice.
Itoi is one of the founders of Hobonichi.
Yep.
They're a big Japanese planner brand, and a lot of people in listening to this show might know them because they do mother crossovers every once in a while. And they did a Tamagotchi crossover, and so of course I had to get that. Of course. And so I've been trying to get used to using a planner, and it's mostly used to track all the games that I play and what I think about them. It's been surprisingly nice.
Nice.
As someone who has never been a journaler or a planner or a list maker or anything like that, I don't know that I've fully committed to the habit, but it's been really cool to have somewhere to put thoughts that isn't just screamed into Discord channels. But
I don't see why you have to call me out like that.
Well, someone had to say it. This is your intervention, Saturn. We're all here for you, and we care about you. Please quit yelling at us in Discord.
No.
What are you up to?
I've also been chipping away at Final Fantasy 11.
You not only been chipping away, but have fully surpassed me by many levels at this point.
Yeah, and I'm only playing it 3 days a week.
It goes quick. It really does.
Yeah, it does.
It's pretty fast.
I'm at level 60 now on my Paladin, and I just last night finished the quest that lets you get beyond level 60, and that was the most brutal thing yet. Like there were several instances where even with my full party of trusts, enemies were just they were melting through me. Like my entire party would dissolve in seconds, just to go through the areas required for this quest. And so I started leaning more on the invisibility thing, so I could just sneak by everything. And that's been. It's been neat. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to keep playing it, especially with everything about to come out in the next couple of weeks.
A lot of stuff happening.
But at least I am getting to the point where I'm starting to really enjoy the cycle. The progression cycle. I'm probably going to go looking for my artifact gear next, and then maybe actually take on what was the boss of the base Japanese game when it first came out. I did notice that I'm pretty sure I've been spoiled on several characters' arcs from the FF14 crossover.
Oh, very likely, yeah.
Because the bosses in the raids in Final Fantasy XIV that are from 11, I've started to meet them in 11, and it's like, look at this, friendly character that will help guide you on your quest. And I'm like, nah, I killed that fucker. Oh no.
Yeah.
That one is going to be evil soon. So that did happen. Also in 14, because I'm already basically at current in 14, I decided to try the new content for Crafters and Gatherers that they've added, which is helping bunnies colonize the moon. It's amazing.
All right. When you say bunnies, you mean like bunny people or like small rabbits?
Tiny bunny peoples. They're called Loporits, and they just look like teeny tiny anthropomorphized bunnies, and they're adorable.
All right then.
It's not like the full size people with bunny ears that you can also play as in the game. It's not that.
Right. Yeah, that was my question.
No, it's teeny tiny bunnies, and they're adorable, and they want you to help them build moon bases.
All right then.
And And it's first of all, it's great, and second of all, I think it's the part of 14 that you were looking for, because anytime I go to this zone, suddenly all of the other players are there. Because normally when I play FF14, I never see other people unless I'm in an instanced zone.
Right, that was my thing. Is a ghost town.
But as soon as I teleport,
in towns, there's a lot of people standing around.
Right.
But yeah.
But as soon as I teleport to this one, there's like 80 people right there next to the entrance to the zone, and they're all like actively crafting stuff, and they're fishing, or they're going out and gathering things. And the zone has these things that are kind of like the fates in the normal game, where everybody gets to fight together. Only they're called mech ops, where one person gets into like a giant mech suit and everybody else has to help the guy in the mech suit by like vacuuming shit. And there's like 60 people at every one of these events. Like normally I go to Fates in even the current zones and there's like maybe 3, 4, 5 people. Yeah. But I go to it in these crafting gathering zones and there's like fucking everyone is there. All the players are there. And I'm like, is this what multiplayer is supposed to be like?
You found them.
And then it has these events called red alerts that happen every 4 hours, where everybody has to work together to craft as many things as possible within a 20-minute period. And it adds to a progression for the entire server. Your specific server progresses in competition with all of the other servers, and in red alert it happens significantly faster. So as soon as a red alert happens, like suddenly an extra 200 people zone in because they're like, oh shit, is there a red alert going on? And everybody starts crafting, and it's just like this giant mound of people, and my computer slows down. And and it's been wild seeing that the actual multiplayer component of Final Fantasy XIV is there. It's just in the level 100 crafting area.
I see. So not anywhere I could ever get to.
You only have to be level 10 to enter this zone. So if your crafting jobs are only level 10, you can level them up very, very quickly in this zone.
My crafting jobs are level never. So I've never done crafting.
It takes 20 minutes to go from level 0 to level 10.
Mm-hmm.
However, to enter this zone, you have to have completed the 5th expansion pack.
Oh my God.
Not the current expansion pack, that last one. But still, that's many expansion packs. So
yeah, it's a lot of hours.
It is a lot of hours to get there. But once you get there, that's where all the players are, apparently. And maybe it's just because this is new content and everybody's playing it at once.
I'm sure it is.
But it's still neat and exciting to see everybody there. And every time there's a mech ops thing, in order to be the pilot of the mech suit, you have to apply for a pilot's license and then go into a random drawing, and only so many people can be mech pilots. So there's also the drawing of every time that one of those gets called, everybody's instantly in the draw, or chooses to be in the drawing. And then there's the, did I get drawn, or do I have to run over there and vacuum shit?
Right.
But there's still a benefit from vacuuming shit, so people still run over there and do it. And it's very exciting to just see everybody doing shit for once.
So you're telling me this massively multiplayer online game does still somehow have sections where there's massive multiplayer going on?
That is true, yes. And it's in the place where people are collectively cooking for rabbits on the moon.
Right, that you have to earn by playing 90,000 hours of the game first.
Only like 80,000.
Wonderful design. What? Let's do some news.
Okay.
First up, the new Evercade collections for Activision and Llamasoft have been announced. They keep making these. I'm glad to keep seeing these. I think there has been some talk that they're going to be a little harder to get in the States for reasons.
Yeah, unfortunately.
But it's cool to see them continuing forward.
Indeed.
The statue with the MGS Delta Special Edition looks super derpy. For people that missed this, you can join our Discord, and it's an emoji there. We named him Metal Snack as an EK because, or pardon me, Solid Snack, not Metal Snack, yeah. Solid Snack, because it's terrible. It's really bad looking.
Yeah.
I feel bad for anyone that got the special edition because it's Solid Snack is really derpy looking.
I kind of want
embarrassing. No, I would get him for like $10 as a joke.
Not for full price. Good Lord, no. But I kind of
want
not
him. MGS Delta. No, special edition pricing. No, I would not pay that.
I also would take a poster of him. That would be fine.
That'd be nice.
somebody
I'll
else make a
settle for the
poster.
emoji for now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Vampire Survivors released an open beta of their online mode. I haven't tried it yet.
Me
They
neither.
just released it, and I was working through content, and I was like, I'll fuss with it later. But I'm excited at the notion of it
Yeah,
because their co-op mode for people that never played it is really, really good.
Yeah, I still haven't gotten to play the co-op, so I'm.
Oh man, it's
looking forward to the
not
online.
only good, but it's also good for not like my kid plays it with me.
Nice.
So she just plays as Queen Sigma, so she's invincible.
Right.
And we just run around and have fun. It's a good
Nice.
time. UCSB's Media Neuroscience Lab released a new study indicating that gaming addiction is likely developed from other pre-existing mental health issues.
That can't possibly be right. I've been told that it's the evil gamers that are causing all the problems.
I'm not a doctor.
Mhm.
I know that nobody didn't. In case you didn't know that, I'm not a doctor.
I'm shocked.
But in my experience, anecdotally, a lot of times people that struggle with addiction do indeed have other things going on in their life.
That can't possibly be right.
So it's almost like we should treat mental health seriously.
No.
It's almost like that, Saturn. It's almost like
but
that.
not
That's the
there.
thing we should be doing.
No.
90% of European gaming revenue in 2024 was digital purchases. I'm going to repeat that one. 90% of European gaming revenue, all European gaming revenue in 2024 was from digital purchases.
I mean, we can't be,
And only 15% was on PC.
we can't be too surprised by that, just because there are so many digital-only platforms now. Because you got mobile, you got
True.
the Series S, you've got the PS5 digital.
I'm still a little, like, I'm not surprised that it's a high number.
Yeah.
I'm surprised that it's 90.
I'm upset and disappointed that it's 90, but I'm not surprised.
If you had asked me, I would have guessed like 70, maybe 80. 90 is really, really high.
That's say goodbye to physical releases soon high.
Yeah, that is, every executive is looking at this and going, why are we still catering to 10% of the market?
Yeah.
Why are we, why do we have expenses that cater to 10% of the market? Why does any of this matter? It's only 10% of people that are even buying these physicals. And then there's people bitching about game key cards and codes in a box. This is the executive speaking. So why are we even fucking bothering with any of it? Like, I'm telling you, it's coming real soon.
My question is, what is the breakdown per platform? Because I have a feeling that like Switch specifically probably is a much lower percentage digital.
I would be interested to see that as well, because I also wonder that. I would think the same thing, just because Switch does seem physical focused, and it seems like the collector market really focused in on the Switch to almost frustrating a degree.
Yep.
But at the same time, most people I know with the Switch prefer their Switch games digital, because the Switch is portable and they don't want to carry their cartridges. And I get that. I mean, I have a ton of physical Switch games, but I mean, I got at least a couple dozen digital Switch games as well. And usually it's just stuff that was on sale, and I'm like, for $3, I'll rent it for 10 years. Why not?
What they need to do is release one of those Radica Gamesters for it, so that you can
there you go.
Your Switch jukebox of all the different carts plugged in at the same time.
It just, especially being a kid's console, I could see a lot of parents being like, I don't want to buy cartridges. They're going to fucking lose them.
Right.
They're going to forget to bring them. I'll just buy digital, you know? So I would be interested to see that information as well. But I am of the opinion that it would be equally depressing.
Yeah, well, it'll definitely be depressing, but
I'm just throwing it out there for people that cause like right now I've been and I think I talked about it last episode. Since I've decided I'm not going the Switch 2 route because I'm unhappy with some of the practices, I'm really focusing in on PS4 and PS5 stuff that I kind of missed, and I'm trying to get as much of it physical as I can. And the stuff that's still out there is very often steeply discounted. And it's also getting weird and hard to find. So I'm just throwing it out there. Anyone that's kind of been sleeping on, hey, I'll pick that up physical later on like PS4 and stuff.
Right.
Maybe now's the time to start because it's going.
Yeah.
And it'll be gone before you know it. Yeah. Cult classic Super Famicom game Psycho Dream has been released on modern consoles, which is cool.
Yeah.
Cool to see.
Always nice to see these weird cult classics show up. Not just on the modern platforms, but in other languages too, which is always nice.
Yeah. Take-Two reportedly attempted to purchase the rights to the canceled Perfect Dark reboot, which I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
I was never a big.
I give them
Perfect
credit
Dark
for
fan.
wanting to release it, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know that I care to see Take-Two
exactly.
do it.
Yeah.
You know, it's Forsaken 64 added to NSO plus for some reason. For people that don't know what this game is, it was that N64 game that had a person's face with a tattoo on it. It's that cover art. It's that one that we all remember, but nobody played the game because it seemed like it sucked.
See, I mostly remember the PC and PlayStation versions, which had the same name and the same cover, but didn't have 64 in the title.
Yeah. I've never played this game, but for people that like it, you can now rent it from Nintendo.
And you could also buy it on other platforms because Night Dive remastered
Right.
it a few years ago. So,
There you go. Atari CEO said in an interview that he wants to remaster Snatcher and Panzer Dragoon Saga. I'd like a toilet made of gold.
Yeah,
and,
I'd like to win the lottery.
Like to travel to the moon.
Yeah.
We'd all like to do all kinds of things.
Right, yeah.
I know that it's the job of games journalists to report this stuff because what else are they going to do other than for some reason tell me that NordVPN has a fucking sale and that's showing up in my feeds? I don't know why.
What gets me is they report this but don't ask follow-up questions. Like,
right,
well, are you
do
actively
have any
working
plans?
to get the rights to that?
Yeah. Or at the very least, research where these products are, who currently owns the rights. Maybe reach out to them, be like, "Hey, would you be open to this?"
Right?
You know? They just are like, "Hey, a CEO said something. That's news." And I think what it is we're right at the tail end of the Randy Pitchford fucking fest that the news has been having, where everyone's like, "Randy Pitchford said a word. Borderlands 4 coming soon." Because I think the game just dropped today and it's already a fucking shit show because of course it is.
Right.
And I'm so tired. I'm like, say something that is newsworthy or shut up. I don't want to hear from you, CEO. Just go away. But if they did, that would be awesome.
But
I'd love more information on these Snatcher and Panzer Dragoon Saga remakes. That'd be
I'm not expecting them, but it'd be neat if it happens.
Edia has announced ports of several of Falcom's PC Engine games to modern platforms.
And
That's exciting.
They also ported over the Valis games to Switch recently, which is nice. So,
okay.
This company does have a history of doing this. They did not say anything about whether or not they'd be translating any of them. I strongly doubt they would. But if they're getting the rights from Konami for the Falcom games that Konami or Hudson had published on PC Engine, they probably also have the rights to the translations, the ones that were translated. So I wouldn't be surprised to see the English versions of those games on here.
Remind me, Valis was the magical girl action platformer that got progressively horny with each game, right?
Right, and eventually devolved into porn.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I just couldn't remember.
It changed hands a few times. It was originally not porn. And then another company bought it and made it porn, and now another company has bought it and has tried to pretend that porn didn't happen.
Unporn it.
Yeah.
It's the unporning process.
Correct, yes. Deporning is what we call it.
Yeah, deporning. Yeah, thank you. Sony is shipping PS5 digital consoles with smaller internal SSDs. I think just kind of part of shrinkflation, I guess.
Right.
I don't know, where we get less and it costs the same or more.
Yeah, that's particularly upsetting because the PS5's SSD isn't super big to begin with because of the OS partition or whatever. So
I actually just put a 4 terabyte in my PS5.
Yeah.
I have mostly physical games, but the PS5 has to install off the disc, and so that your physical games take up as much space as a digital game, and I got tired of installing from the disc for stuff that I wanted to play, and it takes a long time, and so yeah, it's kind of frustrating.
Yeah, I've got a 2 terabyte in mine, and it's already getting pretty close to full, which is frustrating.
Yeah, a terabyte on a PS5 is kind of a joke. It's like, you get about
3-4 games maybe.
6. Yeah, you like 3 or 4 big games, and then you fit a couple indies on there.
Yeah.
And then
some
that's
PS1 games. PS1 games on there take up almost a gigabyte.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
More layoffs this time at Firaxis, the Civ people.
That's
so
unfortunate.
I honestly can't say I'm that shocked. Civ 7 seems to have. I don't want to call it a dud because I don't know if it reviewed well or not. I don't know if people like it or not, but it seemed to not make much of a splash for some reason.
Probably because Civ 6 felt pretty close to Civ 5, and Civ 7 looks pretty close to Civ 6. It doesn't feel like the series has iterated much since 5.
It seems like they wanted to get to not a yearly release, but like a regular every couple years release thing, and I don't know that that's the franchise for it. I just don't think. I really don't think that's what you should be doing with Civ. I think you should go a different route. A PS3 dev kit was put up for sale, including the data of an unreleased PS3 game called King Cook,
which I believe they said they are preserving now, which is good.
So that's cool. Excellent.
I'm all for more prototypes being preserved.
And finally, a Vectrex Mini has been announced at $115 with a limited edition white variant for $250 that looks really cool. I don't have any nostalgia for the Vectrex, so there's no reason for me to buy it, but I like this little like ghost version of it. It looks really cool.
Yeah, I never knew anybody who had a Vectrex. I always thought they looked really cool. And you know, in retrospect, looking back from 2025, there is something really neat about a vector graphics taint mode console.
I got to play one at the Video Game Museum here in Dallas, and it was really cool. It's just really cool. I didn't even know they came out here. Honestly, I thought they were a UK thing, and turns out no, they did.
No, I thought they were US first, weren't they?
I have no idea. That's how little I know about the Vectrex. Which brings us to our topic at hand. Speaking of knowing very little about something, which is The Legend of Heroes: Trails of Cold Steel, which is our like third or fourth Legend of Heroes episode. Third. Yeah. And the first one that I get to be on properly. I'm not just a fly on the wall. So I'm very excited for this episode. Synopsis: a shocking look into the unsafe practices of a boarding school that would have been shut down years ago if it weren't being used by the military to train children to kill for the state. Just getting heavy real fast. Unlike the game, which gets heavy real slow.
Yeah, that's true. Is that an accurate description based on how much you've played?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think so.
I was thinking it.
I think so. I'm noticing some of my scope notes did not save, so I'm going to try to reiterate those that I can. All right, good. My next episode notes have saved.
That's good.
Anyway, as far as scope, like with any RPG episode, gameplay and information are in the first episode, stories in the second episode. We will do our best not to spoil anything, but obviously if you're extremely spoiler sensitive, there's going to be little things here and there, I'm sure. Also, we're not going to cover all of the story.
Yeah.
So let me explain, and I want to take a minute to explain because I do want feedback on this kind of format shift that we're doing, because there's two things that go on when we do these big, overly long JRPGs.
Now, my question is, do you want to have this explanation now or before the actual story episode?
I think now. I think now is good because I think a lot of people won't listen to the story episode.
That's true.
Yeah. They'll be like, I'm not going to listen to that one because I don't play the game yet.
Yeah.
So I want to say this. When I play, a lot of times when we play long RPGs for the show, one, it's very often an RPG Saturn has already played several times before.
Because I tend to play them.
Yeah, you do tend to like the genre, and it's also very often one that I've never played, so I'm cramming in 20, 30, 40, 50-hour games into a 2-week block.
For some reason, like a crazy person. I constantly tell them not to.
I know.
And I also constantly say, do we want to put this episode off for a while, give you time to enjoy it? And you're like, no, I'm pretty sure I can finish it in 2 weeks.
And so there is a joy to playing a long-form RPG over a long period of time. Mm-hmm. And it is a joy that I don't get to experience when I'm playing show games because of the way, again, I've voluntarily chosen to structure the shows. So what I'd like to do is this. This first episode is going to be our normal first episode. We're going to have gameplay and development information and stuff like that. In the next episode, we're going to cover roughly half of the game, maybe a little less than half, story-wise.
About half,
and then
half-ish.
Yeah. And then I'm going to keep playing the game, and here in a recording cycle or two, when I've hopefully played more of the game and hopefully finished the game, we're going to do a part 3. That's going to be the remainder of the story. And my hope is that it does a couple things. One, it gives me time to play it. And 2, it gives us the leeway to kind of also expand out, because we cram so much, 50 hours worth of story into 40-minute segments when we do it this way, and it just doesn't fucking fit.
Sometimes more than that.
I felt bad when we were doing the last Trails in the Sky episode, and I felt like you were just like, and then the story did this, and then the story did this, and then the story. I was like, we need to really expand these out. We need to take a deeper, slower look.
Right.
Alternatively, a lot of these,
if people are not interested in that, if you would rather us just cut these off story-wise halfway through, like we're going to do next time, and then leave the rest up to you guys to explore on your own, and maybe we can discuss it sometime in the future. If that's what you would prefer, let us know that too. We need
which is kind of what we did with Final Fantasy XI, when we're like, hey, this is what the new player experience is. Hopefully, this is something that you want to explore yourself. Then you go to explore it. Yeah. But I definitely I'm still playing the game.
Yeah.
And so it's also nice to get to play through a chunk, talk about the chunk, because I don't remember the first chunk when I'm playing the last chunk. So now I've said chunk too many times and it feels weird. Anyway, if this all sounds good to you, if you have feedback, if you have thoughts on this, please write in and let us know, because we'd love to hear how these episodes hit for you. But I feel like I'm tired of cramming 30-hour RPGs into effectively 30 minutes for story is what we allot in a recording
we
session.
are cramming 30 minutes of this RPG into 30 minutes of story. Or 30
this
hours
is true.
of this particular game, anyway.
This is true. I ended Chapter 3 at right about 18 hours.
Okay. That's pretty fast.
Which felt, because you told me that you said that's roughly halfway-ish, and I was like, this feels snappy. I'm not even at 20 hours yet. And I don't want to say I'm doing everything, because I'm not following a guide, and I know there's lots of hidden stuff, but I'm doing like all the side quests and stuff. I'm not skipping obvious content, so I was a little surprised at how snappy that first half went.
Yeah.
But let's get into it. Let's talk about the game itself. Release info: developed and published by Falcom. Localization by Marvelous/Xseed. Came out on PS3 and Vita in Japan in 2013. Xseed published it in North America 2015. NIS America published it in Europe, which is weird because it's NIS America, in 2016. PS4 version came out in 2018 in Japan, 2019 in North America and Europe. There's a Switch version in Japan, came out in 2021.
Yep.
As far as first encounters, I literally, while we were recording Trails SC, I because I think I asked on the episode, Sky SC, pardon me. I think I asked on the episode, like, hey, if I didn't love the first Sky, I couldn't get into it. It was just too slow. I didn't care. And y'all were kind of like, yeah, Cold Steel is sort of where we jumped in.
Right.
Okay, I know it's where you jumped in. I think it might have also been where Guy jumped in. I don't remember. Yeah. And so I was like, maybe that can be my jumping on point. And I downloaded it off GOG while we were recording. And just I started it, played the first 10 minutes, and then put it down for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And then picked it up, and I was like, I guess I'll finish the prologue dungeon. And I've just continuously been playing it in little chunks.
Yeah.
And so this is now I've played, I think, at least 10 or 15 hours of Sky, but I barely remember it, and I wasn't in love with it.
Yeah.
And so this is really the first Trails, or the first Legend of Heroes game even, that I'm really spending time with.
Nice.
What about you, Saturn?
So I had bought the PS3 and Vita versions of this when the collector's editions were on clearance, because I was like, you know, it's an RPG. It's from Falcom. I like it. I like the company anyway. So I'll pick them up and give it a try at some point in the future. And then I didn't actually end up playing them until the PS4 ports came out.
Mm-hmm. I've been told that, like, don't play the PS3 and Vita versions.
Oh, they're so slow. Oh my gosh.
I've been told that, I've been told people like, don't even bother.
If you've been playing the PC or PS4 versions with the turbo mode turned on at all, going back and playing the PS3 or Vita versions is like watching the game running through molasses. It's so slow.
Every now and then, because I have a mod on the mod on the PC version, so my turbo is not, it's a toggle, so I hit it and it just stays on for everything.
Same.
And every now and then I'll hit the trigger on accident and turn it off, and I'm like, what the fuck is happening? Is my Steam Deck falling apart or something? I'm like, oh, I turned turbo off.
The Vita version runs even slower than the normal speed on PC.
Oh my god,
it's really slow. I did want to mention, because I was thinking about when we did our last episode on Final Fantasy XI, you had mentioned about how the inevitable falling out I would have had with Square when they had all those bad ideas at once.
Right. 2003 Saturn.
Yeah. And I was thinking back to that period of time, because there was a point where they had the Spirits Within movie was kind of a bomb, and then 11 was announced as online only, and then 10-2 was announced as a sequel to an existing game, and I was like, fuck this. I'm done with Square. I'm just going to move over to Enix. They put out all this like fucking bangers back to back, Valkyrie Profile and Star Ocean and all these great games. I'm just going to focus all my attention on Enix and Dragon Quest, and then they announced they were merging, and I was like, motherfuckers. It's like and I took that personally. That they would do
as
that.
You would. They did it to upset you.
Yeah, they did. This is
an
assault on me personally. And around that same time was when E6 came out on PS2, and I was like, you know what? Fuck it. Friendship ended with Square Enix. Falcom is my new best friend. And,
right.
And then I just was like super hyper focused on Ys and Falcom shit for a while. And then, Square Enix's games started getting better, and I started playing those again. And then eventually I got around to playing Cold Steel on PS4, and there was a part of my mind that was like, Falcom is my new best friend. And I tried to like move back into that, but I'm trying to not hyper focus. But it is they're good games. I enjoyed them.
Yeah, there you go. Step us through development for Trails of Cold Steel.
So the development started in late 2012 following the release of Trails to Azure in 2011. And this was the time period where Falcom had, for their entire history, been a PC-first company. All their games had been developed on PC and released on PC, and if there was a non-PC version of their games, it was developed by someone else. They would outsource it. But when they were developing E7, they opted to release it on PSP first. It was their first ever console first game, handheld in this case. And it did well enough, and they apparently enjoyed the development process enough that they decided to focus their development of all games PlayStation first at that point. So Cold Steel was the first RPG that they had released that was console first, because Ys is more of an action RPG.
Yeah.
And so Cold Steel was the 6th game in the Trails sub-series and is considered the 8th overall game in the Legend of Heroes series. Kinda.
I'm perpetually annoyed because I minor spoilers for final thoughts, but I've been very much enjoying the game.
Yeah.
And as someone who's also been going, oh shit, I need to get the physical PS4 and PS5 games that I missed out on before they're gone.
Yeah.
I'm playing catch up right now on the Trails games.
Yeah.
And I'm fucking annoyed as shit at the name schemes of these fucking ass games.
Yeah.
And I'm like, all right, so after I play 1 and 2, do I play 3? You're like, no, God, don't play 3.
Don't do that. That's a mistake.
Go play this instead.
Right.
Like, I can't fucking do it.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a whole thing. And then they're also part of the overall Legend of Heroes series, which prior to Sky has literally nothing to do with any of the rest of these games.
Right.
Which it doesn't help at all.
It reminds me a lot of, it reminds me a lot of Record Lodos War.
Oh, yeah.
Where there's like, it's technically all kind of the same thing, and there's 50 games and mangas and animes, and they all do technically intersect, but they also don't intersect, and you got to know the histories, and then this and that. It's very much the same sort of franchise level stuff.
Yeah, and technically, Legend of Heroes is a spinoff of Dragon Slayer, which also has nothing to do with any of this. So, basically, if you're interested in the Trails series, just look at the Trails games. If they have Trails in the title in the Western world, then it is part of this franchise. If it just says Legend of Heroes, technically a different franchise, but is related.
Well, now they're even doing spin-offs that are like, what was that one? It was like Trails of Nayuta or something, and it was like, it's not a Trails game, but it is a Trails game, but it's not a Trails game.
Yeah, that's not a Trails game, but it is developed by some of the same people, and I think it's using the Ys 7 engine because it's an action RPG like Ys, but it doesn't take place in the world of Trails at all, which is annoying.
But doesn't it say Trails in the title?
Yeah, well, the Western title doesn't. The Western title just calls it Legend of Nayuta Boundless Trails.
Maybe I was thinking Legend of. I don't know. There was something like I looked at it and I was like, "Is this one?" Because I was like, "All right." I had to like write down like, "What? All right, I need all 4 Cold Steels. Those are numbered. That's easy."
Yeah.
Sky 1 and 2 and 3. That they're not really numbered, but they're kind of numbered because they say 1st, 2nd, and then 3.
Yeah.
And then I was like, all right, what's Azure and Zero? Where do they fit in? What through
between those.
daybreak, before daybreak, after sunset? I don't wear all the fucking. So I was like trying to figure out which ones to get.
Yeah, there's a lot now.
Yeah, there's a couple. I think the hard one to get right now is Trails Through Daybreak.
Yeah, which is one of the more recent ones.
Yeah, that's the one. All the rest of them I've got secured. VGP has done reprints on some of them, so I've got those all pre-ordered and secured. I still need Trails Through Daybreak.
Yeah, if you're not yet into the series, just like play Cold Steel 1 or Sky 1, see if you get into it, and then if you enjoy it, that's when you go to a wiki and try to figure out what the actual order of the games is.
Yeah. Those are the two entry points.
Yes.
Pick the one you like, and then
technically you could start on 0 as well. That wouldn't hurt you at all. It would be a little confusing in parts of the game, but it wouldn't hurt you.
I feel like anime fans are probably they're used to this kind of thing, because I feel like anime always has like watch orders where they're like, all right, you want to watch episode 23 first, and you want to go 1, 2, 7, 9, 12, 15, and then 16, but stop halfway through. It's just very.
And then watch all of GT.
Yeah. Don't watch GT. Anyway, I'm sorry. We've totally derailed development.
Right.
Please continue with development. Go ahead.
So according to Toshihiro Kondo, who is the CEO of Falcom and the producer of the Trails series, the primary audience of the prior Trails games on PC, which would be the Sky series and the 2 Crossbell games, were in their 30s and getting older, and so he wanted to attract a younger audience, so that's why he set this game, Cold Steel, in a school setting to try to appeal to the younger audience.
I mean, I think Estelle in the first game is even younger than these characters,
correct,
isn't she?
But there had been enough time those people had gotten into their 30s.
They aged up,
old,
right? Yeah.
And you don't want old people playing your game. So.
Yeah, olds aren't good for the market.
Exactly.
So get out of here, olds.
So
we need the youngs.
Exactly. So an alpha build of this game was shown in early 2012, and it originally showed Elisa as the protagonist.
Thank God. Thank God they fixed that.
Yes. Maybe she had a different personality. We don't know.
Okay. I'm not in love with Reen, but I like him better than Elisa.
Yeah. And by the time I get to Cold Steel 3 and 4, I end up liking all of the characters in Cold Steel 1 and 2, because like all of them have matured slightly enough that I'm like,
you're
okay,
there for
I like
the ride.
all of them now.
Yeah.
But
it's funny. I'll text you about a character and I'm like, this guy sucks, and you're like, oh, I love them. You just got to be with him for 700 hours. I'm like, is this Stockholm syndrome?
Right? Yeah, it might be partially Stockholm syndrome. Partially the characters themselves do mature a little bit, because in that first game they're all like hot-headed idiot teenagers, and by the 3rd or 4th game they're supposed to be like matured adults, but like also they're still like 19 years old. So
it's that Mega Man meme. I'm 30 years old.
Exactly. Originally it was apparently supposed to be Elisa. Also, they had real-time combat instead of turn-based. And also you only controlled one player in combat, kind of like Valkyrie Profiler or Star Ocean, the Tales series, which is not the Trails series. People get that confused. Tales and Trails are completely different video games.
I'll be honest. I've mixed those ones up a few times. Before I had played at least one of each.
Oh, yeah.
I mixed those ones up before, yeah.
Also there was early versions of Heimdall and the old Schoolhouse shown in that early build. But everything else was completely unrelated to the final game. They redid it from scratch at some point. There were some other early prototypes later in 2012 that adjusted the battle system back to closer to what we saw in the final game. Elisa remained the protagonist for at least a couple other prototypes until we finally saw one with Reen in it. And a game was officially announced during Falcom's shareholder meeting in December of 2012. And by that time, many of the final features were already confirmed, including the combat links, the full 3D camera, the bonding system, and several final character changes and designs. Late in the game's development, several story bits were removed from the game to meet production deadlines. Some of those were just moved into the next game. However, not all of them, and they were still left in the canon of the story. Ew. So they released a drama CD that was the voice cast reenacting events of a cut chapter 7.
Which it sounds like is kind of necessary.
No, it's not at all.
No, it's not. Okay.
No, it is technically canon, and they reference it in Cold Steel 2, but they reference it in such a throwaway manner that you're like, that's dumb. Why wouldn't you have like shown a quick cutscene of that?
This is the thing I struggle with in RPG series like this, because, I mean, you know me, I want to know what's going on in the story, but if I don't catch a cameo, I'm not heartbroken.
Yeah.
And I know some people out there are like, no. If a character shows up and I don't know everything that's ever existed about that character before they're on screen for 1 second going ha 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 and then leaving the room, I'm upset. And I get that. That's valid. But that ain't me. So I have to weed through, and I'm like, what games should I play in what order? I have to weed through the people that you know, clash with me on that, where it's like, hey, I just want to get the basic gist of it.
Right.
You know, I don't need to know every little cut in and throw away joke. Because a lot of the guides out there are like, well, what you want to do is you want to play Dragon Slayer 10 times in a row.
Yeah.
And then
get the good ending first.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't quite need that. So, I just want the basic idea.
So to not spoil it at all, but the cut scenario is about them taking a break and visiting a place, and then a thing happens there, and then the events of the game resume in the final chapter of the game. And in Cold Steel 2, somebody says, remember the last time we were here when this happened? Oh, yeah, that was great. And then they move on. And that's it. That's the entire canonicity of the audio drama.
Yeah.
So that's what people were worried about.
They
did find some elements of the cut chapter on the disc for the PS3 and Vita versions of the game, including some areas and characters that do get introduced in Cold Steel 2 when they're all like, remember the last time we were here? But otherwise, no, it was all cut early enough that they were able to remove it from the story, and the Cold Steel one is still a complete story without it. And following the popularity of the Korean and Taiwanese releases of the prior PC games in the series, they did make official localizations of the PS3 and Vita games that Sony themselves put out in Taiwan and China in 2014, just before we got the English localizations. Because we didn't get the English localizations till 2015, which were pretty late for PS3 and Vita games.
Yeah. For sure.
And then the PC port was developed by Xseed alongside Mater Durante, who was the guy who fixed Dark Souls by making the fan mod that made it not a broken, buggy mess on PC. He also added several new features, including more than 5,000 newly voiced dialogue lines that weren't on the PS3 and Vita versions that were later added into the PS4 version, but were first on PC. He also added the turbo mode that would later make an appearance on the PS4 port. Apparently Falcom themselves, once they saw it, were like, oh, our games do need to be sped up a lot to be enjoyed. Because it is slow without it.
I'm already nervous about going back to earlier games and hitting the one that doesn't have turbo.
Fans have added turbo modes to literally all the games now. Every game in the series has a turbo mode.
PlayStation.
None of the PlayStation games don't have turbo.
Okay, good.
Like, if you want to play the PS Vita versions of Zero and Azure, those don't have turbo. But none of the officially localized PlayStation games do not have turbo.
Okay, good.
Good. The PS4 port, which was announced and released in 2017, that's the one that has the turbo mode added into it. Also, it lets you import your save files from the PS3 and Vita version as well, which is nice. However, once you have imported them from PS3 or PS Vita into PS4, you can never export them back to those systems. So if you started the game on PS3
not a
and
cross-play
Vita,
thing.
Exactly. You can move it one way into PS4 and then play it, and then you're done. But yeah, it is a good port. I like the PS4 port.
Yeah. I'm kind of regretting. I'm playing on the GOG version, which is nice. But I've had some issues and some crashes and stuff. At least a handful, and they've got me really nervous. But I'm not going to replay the previous 20 hours to play on PS4.
Right.
But the completionist in me wants to buy the PS4 versions of the game because I've got 3 and 4 already on the shelf because I'm going to switch to PlayStation after 1 and 2.
Right.
But I don't. I can't think of. I can't justify doing it. I don't need them.
Right.
Let's talk presentation real quick before we get into gameplay. It looks like a Vita game.
Yeah. It does look like a PS3 Vita era game.
as someone that played a lot of Vita, it looks really Vita.
I remember posting a screenshot in the chat way back when I was playing the game the first time on PS4, and it was when you're in. You already finished Chapter 3, right?
Yeah, I'm a chunk into Chapter 4.
Okay, so when you're in the Nord Highlands, which is the like Native American themed area, you encounter some people on horseback. And I remember taking a picture of the guy on the horse, and it's like a PS2 polygon horse, and posting it in the chat and being like, "Look at these amazing PS4 quality graphics of this incredible PS4 game that I am playing right now."
Yeah, yeah,
it
does help.
They're
But
not bad
I'm
graphics.
I am also playing on Steam Deck, so I am still on a portable. So I think I maybe I give it a little bit of leeway there.
Right.
If I was playing on a 65-inch TV on my PlayStation 5, it might hit a little different.
Yeah. And I mean, they're fine graphics. They're very stylized graphics, so it doesn't hurt it too bad to have random PS2 horse every now and then.
It looks a lot like, I don't know. It just looks very Vita to me.
Yeah, it does look like that era of video game design.
For sure. But I don't think it's bad. I think it's fine presentation-wise. I think everyone's got kind of big heads. But I think it sort of fits for the art style. But it's not a game you come to for the visuals.
No,
really.
It definitely has that generic anime art style at times. And it does have the little character portraits down by the dialogue boxes, so that you can see their faces, show a little more expression, which is something. It's always nice when a game has that. But
soundtrack's good. I'm not.
I dig on soundtrack. I really like it.
It's one of those things for me where like I don't think it's bad. I think my litmus test is always, can I think of a track right now? Like in my head, can I hear one? And the only one I can think of is the Nord Highlands.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah.
Music. It's
got
like the little
whistly
whistly flute in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The opening title screen from the anime opening is also pretty good.
I
just skipped through it every time.
That one. Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
When you first turn on the game, it shows it to you.
Oh, you know what? I have opening movies disabled.
That's why.
With my mod, so I probably watched it the first time, and I just only saw it the one time, so I don't remember it. It's gone. Let's talk gameplay.
Yeah. The meat of this episode.
So the game does follow, and I like that you put it like this: a specific chapter rhythm.
Yes.
And we talked about it a little bit before when I was talking about it in my week, but you've got your first act where it's bonding, socializing, schoolwork, doing tests, going around, being a student at a military academy.
Yeah.
And then you do these kind of generic dungeons in the old schoolhouse.
Yeah.
And then you go do your I call it a field trip. In the game, it calls it a field study.
Yeah.
But you go do a field trip, but they send you somewhere to go apply practically the things that you've been doing in a place.
Right.
And I said it before on the show, and I'll repeat it here. It feels very Persona-esque.
Yeah. Yeah.
It very much reminds me of the cyclical nature of the Persona games, but with less complexity.
My guess is they were heavily inspired by Persona 4.
I'm guessing so as well, because it feels really Persona 4, just gameplay loop wise.
Yeah.
And also kind of by virtue of being a Vita era turn-based JRPG, so it kind of has, the models look a little Persona 4-y if you played Golden on Vita.
Yeah, I could see them thinking, we want a younger audience. How do we get a younger audience? Just make Persona.
Yeah. Now, I say kind of simpler Persona. I don't think it's a bad thing. Persona, for my money, is a little much sometimes. It's a little, this is just like, hey, go talk to people. There's not really any super time limits or on anything. It's not too critical that you, like, I don't ever feel stressed in the Act 1 portion of this loop of like, hey, you're back at school. You need to go talk to people, get your bonding points up. You got a test coming up or whatever.
Knowing that I'll never run out of time makes me much less stressed about it, because I always stress out about that in Persona, because I'm like, I only have so many hours, I can only do so many things, and it still has a limit here with how many bonding events you can do, but because it's just a quantity instead of a time, for some reason
it's like you got 3 points. Who do you want to bond with?
Right.
And so then you go bond. Who were always your first bonding choices? Because there's always more people you can bond with than you have points, so you always get to select.
So eventually, when you get to New Game Plus, you can unlock unlimited bonding points, and then you can just do everybody. Which made me regret my choices, because originally I think I did Elisa because she's the canon girl, and I was like, well, I guess I have to see the canon ending, and then I would usually do whichever one of the guys I was least upset at the time or annoyed by. And then the teacher.
So Elliot every time? Is that what you
often ended up being Elliot, yeah. And then until Elliot got annoying, and I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go hang out with Gaius.
He seems chill.
Yeah, Gaius seems pretty chill. And then the teacher. And then I would just go watch the teacher be drunk for a while.
I always do Laura, Sarah first, and then Laura.
Yeah.
And then usually either Emma or Toa if she's available.
Yeah, always Toa if Toa's available.
Yeah, but I don't feel like she's always available.
No, she's not. No.
Sometimes thing. Walk us through more of the gameplay here, because you've got quite a bit.
So, it is a turn-based JRPG, which spoiler for the news media, the genre didn't completely die until Clair Obscur came out. There were still turn-based
No, it was
JRPGs.
dead, Saturn. No, they died. Nobody ever made. There was Final Fantasy 1 and then Clair Obscura.
No, it was Final Fantasy X and then Clair Obscur.
Oh, right.
Nothing between those, according to every fucking news article I read. Anyway, so yeah, it is a turn-based JRPG. So I broke this down into mechanically the elements of the game. So we got your navigation outside of combat.
Yeah, so navigation I do feel is kind of the weakest point, just because it's a little slow. It's the interaction is like little sparkle points on the ground.
Yeah.
I have a weird thing. Tell me if this has happened on the console versions, because whenever I walk up to an object like a barrel or something, I hit it with my sword. And there's like a thing to pick up. For whatever reason, after I hit the thing with my sword, it like perfectly centers my character over some point, and they start spinning at high rates of speed until I touch the stick again.
That only happened to me on the PC.
Yeah, it happens on PC all the time. And so every time I hit a barrel, Reen starts spinning at 70,000 RPMs in a circle until I move him again.
It's something to do with the way that it maps the controls to the mouse, if I remember right. Because if I disabled the mouse input, it seemed to be fine.
Oh, I didn't know I could do that, because I every now and then I'll go to wipe dust off my screen and I'll click through dialogue on accident.
I don't remember what I did to disable it, if it was through Cheat Engine or through the actual game, but there was something I could do that disabled mouse input, and then suddenly the game was fine.
It does the combat thing where you can like run up on enemies and you hit them with your sword and get an advantage, or if they hit you in the back. But I find it really hard to catch enemies in the back.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
really hard.
Well, I would always switch over to Elisa or one of the ranged people for that.
Oh, I didn't. I've never even switched from Reen. It never even occurred to me that I've got ranged characters that could do it. Yes,
the
left
smart. Bumper will let you change which character you're controlling on the overworld.
Oh, I know how to do it. I just never did it.
Just that's how you get preemptive strikes. Is you use a ranged character.
This is the other upside to me not finishing the game before we do episodes on this, because you can tell me all the shit I'm doing wrong.
As far as navigation goes, the first part of each chapter is where you're limited in Trista and the school campus, and you just explore, and you're given some tasks to do, which are either optional or hidden, but there's always one or two that are mandatory, and it's almost always go investigate the old schoolhouse as the mandatory one. And then, this was clearly one of the first games that Falcom did that was a polygonal 3D world. And so they were still trying to figure out the whole polygonal camera and exploration and everything. And it does feel awkward sometimes.
It does. I don't ever think it feels bad.
No.
It just feels like Vita era JRPG kind of.
It feels like growing pains, which, is common for that.
I think what I would say is it never feels impressive.
Right.
Visually or navigation wise. Now, this is, you're just like, all right, I'll get through the places to go do the combat and the story and the cool things, but you're never like, whoa, look at these wonderful vistas of 12 polygons in the Nord Highlands, you know?
Yeah.
I do feel like that is the moment of the game where they're like, look at this expansive vista, like Hyrule Field for the first time, and you're like, I guess, man, cool.
It does look kind of like Hyrule Field from the N64. It's not too different from that.
There's that moment people talk about in Ocarina 64, where, like, the second you walk past the owl out of Kokiri Village into Hyrule Field for the first time, and it's the music swells.
Yeah,
I feel like they try to have that moment, and you're like, that doesn't work anymore, dude.
Well, they do have that moment, only they're doing it on old technology, and they're 10 years behind the time.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's like the Titanic song on the recorder, where you're like, no, I mean, it's just funny.
Right.
It's funny. Anyway.
So mechanically, you have your orbments.
You do. Yeah, the materia of the game.
Yeah, it's carryover from the previous games, but they've changed how it works. It is still used for your spells and stat boosting. Each character has a unique layout of their orbment that affects what chains can be made, but chains don't really mean much in this one compared to the previous games. In fact, they mean almost nothing.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't even know what the fuck a chain is or how that works.
Yeah, because they don't really do anything in this one. In the past, all of your quartz were like strength up or HP up or whatever.
Mm-hmm. And this time they're very materia-y, where it's like, this is your
very
lightning spell or whatever. Yeah.
And you would get spells in the past by, like, if you wanted a water spell, like a healing spell or an ice spell or whatever, you would just have to link several blue defense quartz in one line, and that would get you your better abilities. But now, because the quartz are specifically like, this is your heal, this is your attack, it doesn't matter. You just put them wherever. You do still have your stats affected by what quartz are installed. So, like, the more magic spells you put in there, your strength will go down and your EP will go up. And so if you want to, be more of a physical attacker, you want to make sure that you don't load yourself down with spells, which makes sense.
My problem is the same problem with any system like this. This is why I like job systems, is that I always load out characters with, like,
a little of everything.
Even... Yeah, I try to make everyone a jack of all trades. I'm like, oh, Elliot takes too much physical damage. I'll give him some defense and some this and some that. And then I'm taking away from his specialization of what he's supposed to be doing. Yeah. But you do have what is it called? The big, like, overarching orbment quartz. The master quartz, yes. Which kind of is sort of, it's not job system-y, but it kind of is like, hey, this is sort of some gentle guidance of, like, this is how this character is wanting to perform.
You can also change what master quartz you're using.
Yeah, absolutely, you can. Yeah, so, and you unlock new ones, and you can move them around.
Yeah.
But I like those because they give me just a little bit of guidance of, like, this is sort of what this guy wants to do with this thing on, and you're like, all right, I can kind of build around that.
Also, they're just really powerful. Master quartz are grossly overpowered, which is great.
For sure.
It's overpowered in our favor. Because they teach you spells, and they give you stat boosts, and they give you other little boosts as they get leveled up, which is nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, there's little orbment recharge stations all over the world where you can just go and instantly heal up, which is nice. You do have to unlock your orbment slots, just like in the previous games. You have to pay Sepith to unlock them, and you get Sepith by grinding. And then in the past, Sepith was your only currency. You would get Sepith, and then you'd have to sell it. But now you also have the what do they call the trash Sepith that you can?
It's like Sepith mass or whatever. Yeah, the dud Sepith.
Yeah. So you can sell that to get money, and then keep your good Sepith to turn into quartz or to unlock slots in your orbments, which is. I
will say the game is it's a little stingy with the money and the Sepith.
Yeah.
I'm about halfway through. I've not done a ton of grinding. I'm not a grinder. That's a Saturn thing.
Yep.
But I think I've got 2 or 3 characters that have a couple slots that haven't been unlocked, because it's just like 800 Sepith for this one slot.
Yeah, it does go up in price a lot.
And it's like a gold one, and I'm like, I don't fucking give a shit about that. But it's a little stingy with the money and the Sepith. There's a lot of moments where I'm like, shit, man, I'm kind of fucking broke right now.
Yeah.
Which I think they do it just enough that it feels like you're kind of scraping by.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't feel too stingy. I think it's well balanced in that regard. Is like, if you're not grinding, it's gonna feel a little tight. But not impossible, which I enjoy.
I ground out enough to unlock all of my slots immediately.
I can't even imagine how long that took. That must have been hours.
As soon as I found a place where I could get the Space and Mirage Sepith, the gold and the silver, I was like, all right, well, I'm just going to fight here until I have enough to unlock everything. And honestly, it didn't take as long just because of combat bonuses.
Sure.
And then once that was unlocked, I had plenty of money and everything else for the rest of the game. Because you don't get too much experience. You can never outlevel the enemies because eventually you start getting 1 experience from every battle.
Okay.
And so it keeps the game from getting too easy, but it does make it a little easier.
I have found equipment to be not pointless, but like I'll go hours without even thinking about equipment and then be like, oh yeah, there's a shop in this new field trip area. I should see if I can buy my stuff. And usually I can upgrade about half my people and then maybe get the other half before I leave the area.
Yeah, I would also upgrade or buy all my new equipment and then immediately upgrade everything as soon as I could.
Yeah. I've not been upgrading any weapons because they give you the weapon upgrade stuff, the U materials. And I did it once and you're like, I wouldn't worry too much about that.
Yeah,
and so I've not done it
at all. Until you get closer to the end, it's not super worth it. I mean, it does give you a good boost to your attack power, but it's not like a tremendous boost. And if you're really, really hurting on money, U materials, if I remember right, sell for a good amount in that one.
Well, the problem is you only get so many U materials, and so I keep
eventually
upgrading
enemies start dropping them.
Well, my concern early on is I was like, I'm buying new weapons. So if you upgrade a weapon, then you buy a new weapon. Well, that upgrade, the U material is virtually wasted.
Right, yeah, it's gone.
Which is the disconcerting part. Yeah. But also you're changing here because I mean we haven't talked about the cast of characters. I guess that's kind of next episode. Yeah. But you have more than 4 party members, and so you have it's a lot of people to equip and put ordnance on and keep up with. And
early on it tries to funnel like these are the ones you're going to have this chapter, these are the ones you're going to have this chapter, but eventually it's like you have everybody, figure out who you want to bring with you.
By chapter 3 it's like equip 9 people and you're like, I got $9. What am I supposed to do? I can't.
Everybody gets 1 juicy fruit.
Yeah, you gotta split it. Now, you gotta split that juicy fruit. Don't.
Have you been cooking?
I was early on because I couldn't afford consumables.
Right.
But I've quit doing it because I can afford consumables.
The cooking ends up being way better than the consumables, though.
I see. I need to do more.
But you have to find more recipes.
Is it? Yeah. Where do I get them from?
You buy either. I'm trying to remember how it was in Cold Steel 1. I think in Cold Steel 1 you can find them in books or from buying the food at a restaurant.
Oh, I've never bought food at a restaurant one time. You know what? I think I bought ingredients one time.
Yeah, you can buy ingredients, but you have to. If I remember right, I might be thinking of Cold Steel 3, but it's either you learn it from reading books or from buying that food at a restaurant, and then it's like, oh, I learned how to cook this, because that's how cooking works.
I presume that. I don't want to burst your bubble. It is kind of how cooking works. There's a lot of times where me and my wife will be out somewhere and she'll order something and she'll be like, "This is really good," and I'll be like, "Oh, I could probably make that," and then I'll go home and.
Yeah, see, for me, if I see something at a restaurant, I'm like, "Oh, that's really good. I wonder how to cook that." That'd be like somebody buying a computer and thinking, "I wonder how to make a microprocessor."
A wizard must have made this.
Exactly.
We're off the rails. Let's talk combat. Just gonna speed through sort of main combat stuff here, because it's the arts and crafts thing, which is still so cute that they call it arts and crafts, which are basically what it's arts are special attacks and crafts are spells. Did I get that right?
No, you got that exactly backwards. Arts are your magic, crafts are your special attacks.
All right, there you go. There you go. I do enjoy that your special attacks use a different fucking bar that isn't your MP every other JRPG. Please pay attention. It doesn't make sense. If it's not magic, it should have a different bar that goes up as you play instead of going down. That's how it should work, and I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot. I like that it does it that way.
Yeah.
So I
very
enjoy
similar
that
to Final
very
Fantasy
much.
11, actually.
I do find that the magic, the arts aren't super good unless you're specifically targeting weaknesses.
Yeah, until you get to the later ones, they are kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, like I use them out of necessity. Every now and then I might use one that like blinds or something. Right. Obviously I use them for heals a lot of the time, but mostly unless I have to, I'm not using arts at all.
Yeah, I'll use them with Emma or Elliot because they have higher art stats.
Yeah.
Until you get to the end when you start to unlock the crazy, like, instantly nuke all enemies arts, then I'll use them all the fucking time.
Right, yeah. I just finished the Old Schoolhouse 4 zone, and the boss there is completely physical resistant, so I had to do the whole battle with arts.
Yeah, that's a rough
and that was the most I've used arts. I learned a lot about. I learned that first of all, most of my characters have no arts equipped because I'm not using. I'm just like, all right, you get a defense and an evade and a move, and
right.
you know,
which normally is fine.
Right, 90% of the time it's fine, and then I got there and I was like, oh shit, they don't have any spells because I was just using. I mean, they had heal spells, but that was it. Help me with the combat link thing, because there's a combat link thing where every now and then there's a chance that your party members, if they're linked, which you can change who your link is real time in combat, they'll do a combo attack, and you get to press X and do an extra attack.
Right.
And then there's
anytime you do a critical hit, you get a combo link.
But the game seems to want me to keep changing my links, and I'm not understanding why. And sometimes it'll seem like it goes a really long time with no combat links occurring. And is there some part of the system I'm misunderstanding?
So you can level up your combat links.
My combat links are all mostly level 3 right now from bonding stuff, right?
Yeah. I think in the later games they separate link and bonding, so you have to level them up separately. But yeah, in Cold Steel 1 and 2, it's the same stat. So if
as I level my bonding up, it's like, hey, you unlock link level 3 or whatever.
Yeah, so as long as your links are high enough level, it doesn't really matter. It's just whoever you want to link with.
Because I just finished like Old Schoolhouse. I don't think I had a single combat link occur the entire like 3-level dungeon with boss fight. I had to try 5 or 6 times.
So it happens whenever you get a critical hit.
So maybe my critical hits are just really rarely occurring for some reason.
Are you breaking the? Wait, I can't remember. Did Cold Steel 1 and 2 have break?
I think it talked to me about that early in the game, but I don't remember how it works. So maybe I'm not doing it. Maybe that's why I'm having a hard time with the game, because I've found this game intensely difficult.
If you stagger an enemy, then they don't get to move for a turn, and all hits on them are critical until they move next.
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong.
That's got to be.
We need to split these episodes.
Yeah, it is definitely in Cold Steel 1, because I remember using it pretty heavily on a specific boss. But yeah, if you get their stagger gauge up,
because I've seen like when you do an attack, it'll be like there's an increases stagger 10% or whatever, but I don't see a gauge on them. Is it a hidden gauge?
I think it is a hidden gauge in that one. In the later games, it's not hidden anymore.
So I just need to do stagger attacks.
It might not be hidden in Cold Steel. I didn't replay Cold Steel 1 right before this episode, but
it's only 1 billion hours long.
Yeah.
You couldn't have just set aside 5 days to dedicate to it.
But no, I'm pretty sure there's a little gauge. But once you break their stagger gauge, they are staggered until the next time they get a turn. And during that time, every attack you make is a critical, which always guarantees a combat link.
I'm gonna go play with that, because I think that's what I've been fucking up, because I've been finding the game. I mean, I think it's just they seem like pretty hard games to begin with, but
true,
it has been intensely difficult for me.
Yeah, if you're not taking advantage of delaying enemies, which we didn't even talk about, the
delaying
turn order.
I'm doing delay and impede are fantastic.
Yes.
I do those all the time.
Yeah, those are big. And then also stagger is your other thing. So you want them to be broken as often as possible, because if they're broken, they're not attacking you, and you are getting critical hits on them. And of course, there's also the brave points, which you get every time you get a link attack, and then you can cash them in to do
like a super link attack.
Exactly.
Yeah, that one I've done. I've done that a few times.
Yeah, and that will tear up bosses, and that is absolutely worth abusing as much as you can.
Yeah, I need to figure this break system out then. It's just not, again, and this is, I guess if I were to levy a criticism against the game, there are many systems.
Yes.
And you have a cast of 9 characters all interacting with arts, crafts, break gauge, combo attacks. You've got elemental weaknesses. You've got weaknesses to certain weapon types that are based on like a little 4-point weapon type thing.
Yeah.
That you have to take advantage of by using specific combat links.
Yeah.
It gets...
That's
what
it was in Cold
system.
Steel 1. So in Cold Steel 1, your different attack types based on your weapon cause the stagger gauge to go up more than normal. So if you use an attack that has the right attack type or a craft, then it will cause their stagger gauge to climb much faster, and that's how you break them. That was it.
I need to investigate this more.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I just left the old schoolhouse dungeon, so I've got a bunch of story before I get anywhere.
Right. So you'll have forgotten by then, so it's fine.
Oh yeah, totally. It'll be gone out of my head. But if I were to levy a criticism, it's not even a criticism because I enjoy the complexity. For a game this long, you want some complexity.
Right.
Really dead simple systems for 50 hours gets old.
Oh yeah.
But it's a little much, man. It's kind of heavy. The combat system is just a lot of bars and gauges and equipping and this and that and combat links and arts and crafts and this, and then you got your MP gauge and your CP gauge and then your EP gauge and then your HP gauge, and there's just a lot of
If it was just all the different gauges and everything in like a real-time system, I would be completely overwhelmed and unable to process it. But because it is in a turn-based system where I can see the turn order at all times, it always feels more like a puzzle to me. And I get really into that.
My problem is there's so many systems I'm paying attention to and stuff and strategies, and then you got to scan the enemies and then you see all their weaknesses, and then you're flipping through, you're bringing in your auxiliaries real time in battle to see like who's got the stuff to attack this thing.
Yeah.
I'll often forget to look at the turn order gauge on the side.
Oh no, I stare at that thing.
Oh no! I realize I'm coming into like, oh, the enemy had 3 combos and I forgot to delay them or push the order around, and now I just I'm fucked on this combat.
I am staring at the turn order at all times, and there's those little turn bonuses which we also didn't talk about, but there's little bonuses that'll like give you a guaranteed crit or a free arts or whatever. And
there's also special dungeons where those bonuses turn into like extreme bonuses where it's like insta kill stuff and 50% heal stuff.
Yeah. The free arts one, if you're not abusing that is
that one I use. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that one's great. Is because you can abuse it 2 ways. You can either line up your arts so that they cast on that turn, or if you try to cast, if you just play in your turn to be on that turn and you cast, you instant cast. So either way, you get the free arts out of it. And I don't remember if Cold Steel 1 had free crafts. Does it have? I think it might.
I don't think I've seen free craft. I've seen now you get like it'll be like a EP boost turns.
Okay.
But I've not seen a free crafts symbol. I don't believe
that might not be till Cold Steel 3 then, because that's the best one because you can just use an S craft every time.
I do get annoyed where sometimes you're like, all right, I'm planning so and so needs to do this specific attack because it's what this combat needs,
right?
And then they happen to land on the free arts turn, and I'm like, well, shit.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to do an art, but I guess I should, but and so
that's when I start using S breaks to manipulate my turn order.
Well, but does an S break move the turn? Because that just lets you do an S break right then, right?
Yeah. But before, when you're watching the gauge and you're seeing when that turn is going to come up, you throw an S break in beforehand to bring that person up, and it reorders everybody else because of it.
It's my brain.
Yeah.
It's my
I'm
brain.
A big fan of the turn order system.
I don't know. I enjoy it as well. My problem is, again, if I were to levy, because again, I like the level of complexity here. It keeps the combat engaging, and I am enjoying the combat, even though by what I've discovered in this episode, I think I'm doing it very poorly. But I've still enjoyed it very much.
Yeah.
And it is, like you said, very puzzle-like. It's just also a lot.
Oh yeah,
it's a lot of shit going on, man.
Yeah,
There's a lot of stuff happening.
I think I was at least halfway through the game before I understood most of the combat mechanics, and even then,
and I'm here at about halfway in reaching the point of like, I don't think I get this.
And I some of the things I didn't even get until New Game Plus. It was when I was playing New Game Plus on harder nightmare difficulty, where I was really like, okay, this is impossible. And I looked it up online, and somebody was like, hey, you idiot, don't forget you can delay enemies. And I was like, oh. That's a thing.
Delay, I've been doing it. Delay, I do a lot. Delay and impede.
Yeah.
Because you've got your practical exams where Sarah tries to teach you these combat things. But again, they really only talked about break in like the prologue dungeon one time, and it made it seem like it wasn't a very big deal. And I remember thinking like, was this a break game? Because it's a common JRPG thing for break systems.
Yeah.
I was like, is this a break game or not? And I was like, I don't think so. I think I remember him mentioning it, but they've reiterated everything else so many times.
Right.
Surely they would have said something.
Yeah,
to be fair, the game does have pretty good in-game tutorials where you can just go read through the shit. I probably should just actually read things like some sort of nerd.
But the stagger gauge abuse that. It makes everything easier.
We do need to move on. Do you
Okay.
have anything on gameplay we didn't cover that you want to squeeze in there? Real
We
quick?
kind of brushed by it, but the S crafts
S-crafts,
that's
yeah.
basically your
super moves.
your super move, your equivalent of like a limit break or whatever. And
Yeah.
and you can use it at any time. You can interrupt the turn order at any time to use it, or you can use it on your turn. It does instantly drain your CP to 0, but man, it will tear shit up.
What frustrates me is the game is really good about spacing enemies so that you can't just S-craft all of them in key encounters.
Right. Well, eventually,
that drives me crazy.
Once everybody's S crafts get upgraded to their second S craft, it'll always do all enemies.
Yeah, like who there was a character, I don't want to spoil anything, but there's a character that joins your party for a brief period in the 3rd chapter, and her S-craft hits the whole field, and I was like, this is fucking great.
Yes.
The way I've been beating tough encounters is I just go grind until everyone has S-craft, and I start every boss encounter with full S-craft gauges.
Yep.
And that's how I've been squeaking by.
Oh, yeah.
But I think I need to look into learning how to actually play the fucking game.
Also, if you go back to cooking, you will be able to cook dishes that just give you CP.
Oh, okay. All right.
There's
so cooking. I'm writing these down. Cooking. Okay. Cooking and breaking.
Yeah.
All right.
Cooking, stagger gauge. Those are the 2 keys you seem to be missing. But yeah, there's several food items that you can cook that will give you CP, and you can use them in battle. So you would like use an S-craft, immediately use your next turn to feed that person an item that gives them CP, and then just use the S-craft again.
Yeah. Let's talk reception.
Yeah,
because we gotta do a whole other one of these tonight.
Yeah. I knew this would be the long one.
Metacritic on PS3 86%, Vita 77, PC 80, PS4 80, Famitsu 34 out of 40. I said not long ago on the show that I always kind of felt bad for the Trails series because it feels like they always just sort of get these middling reviews.
Yeah.
And it feels like they've not had their Persona 5,
Right.
their like extreme critical breakout game. And I gotta say, I'm a little upset because I've been really enjoying Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah.
It's a little slow to get rolling, and it's a little complex, but I'm having a good time with it.
Yeah. I feel like it is. It should have been the Persona 5 of the series. And it did bring in a big new audience, but now it is older, and there's so much like before this game and after this game that it's overwhelming for new players.
I kind of wonder if because it was Vita PS3 era,
Right.
that's when Persona 4 and 5 were really kicking off.
Yeah.
And becoming kind of the cultural touchstone that they've become.
Yeah.
And so I kind of wonder if it maybe just wasn't an issue of people looking at this and seeing a less exciting Persona,
Right.
which again, there's key elements here that are, I don't want to say ripped off, but similar.
Yeah.
Very similar key elements. But I think it is indeed different enough, and especially the combat is
Oh, yeah.
There are a lot of elements of the combat that are similar.
True. They're both
but
turn-based JRPGs.
I think the orbment system makes it feel unique.
Yeah.
I think I think it feels different enough is what I'm trying to say. It was well received for its gameplay innovations over the prior games. It was I mean, these aren't bad scores. These are pretty good scores. I would define these as pretty good.
Yeah. 86 is pretty solid for PS3.
86 for the PS3, the original PS3 version, is pretty damn good.
And the Famitsu score was quite good. That's one of their
true.
highest
30. I always get fucked up with their numbers. 34 out of 40 is quite high.
Yeah.
I
kind of hope that the Sky remake that's about to come out might be the series Persona moment, but it's getting so little advertising that I don't know if it can.
I don't know. It's getting a lot of, not a lot. It's getting more press than I would have expected.
Yeah,
I'll say that. The demo got more press than I expected. I've been seeing it in my feeds popping up,
especially for a game being published by Gung Ho. I don't think they have ever had a big hit, so that'll be.
It's not popping up as much as Randy Pitchford saying random fucking shit.
See, I'm not getting that in my feed,
but it's popping up enough.
Yeah,
it is popping up, and it is at the very least in the JRPG spheres.
Oh yeah.
Seems to be making some waves.
Right.
I think a lot of people are going to treat this as not Cold Steel, but Trails in the Sky as the remake, as their jumping on point. I think a lot of people are poised for that. So I might hope maybe that'll be it. Maybe you're
Possibly.
right. Final thoughts. I like the gameplay systems in this. They are fun. The presentation is nothing to write home about, but it does the job.
Yeah.
I clearly don't know how to play the fucking game, but I kind of like that. I like that I can play 20 hours of a game and still be discovering and figuring things out. Like that's neat. I enjoy that.
Yeah, I appreciate you don't have to master it to have, at least gotten as far as you've gotten.
I have not.
Yeah.
Granted, some boss encounters I have to do 7, 8, 9, 10 times.
Yes.
But I also have so far refused to do the retry at lower difficulty option that it gives you when you lose a fight. Yeah. So
I do appreciate that option is there because I abused that option my first playthrough of almost every game in the series.
Yeah. So that's final thoughts. I enjoy the gameplay. We'll be back for the story next episode. Do stay tuned after the ending theme for our producer Guy for the after party. He's going to be here to do the after party with us. I think he played this game. He might have some shit to say about it. I don't know.
That's the first after party we've done in a couple of months, I think.
It has. It's been a long time. It feels weird. Yeah. It feels very weird.
Nice to have him back.
But yeah. It'll be a fun time. Of course, it's on the longest episode we've done in a while.
Right.
So isn't that how she goes?
Yep.
You know how else she goes, Saturn? She goes to our patreon.com/retro warriors.
Who is she?
The person that's going to go to our patreon.com/retro warriors, where you can get uncut versions of this show, where Andrew was here this week. You can get Talking Wizards. You can get Read Along. You can get all sorts of things.
Andrew
I was talking to
there
someone.
Too.
Andrew was also there. Someone was asking in the Discord about our Patreon stuff, and I was like, by the numbers, being on our Patreon at the read along tier basically doubles the amount of hours of our podcasts you have to listen to a month.
Least.
So if you want to listen to us that long, you can. We're here for you so that you can hear us talking about things. We want to thank the following patrons for their kind donations, starting with you guys.
And Chris Courage.
JT Maverick.
I'm your little butterfly. Green, black, and blue. Paint the colors of the sky.
Gortham.
John Fry.
King Vidiot.
Luis Hernandez.
Andrew Malwitz.
And Marlowe 221.
They all gave us money.
Yay.
And I
had to resist every urge to not sing Butterfly there.
Anyway, again, stay tuned after the ending theme, guys. Gonna be here for the after party. We gotta speed it along. We're gonna speed things along here. So, thank you for listening. We'll be back next week. And as always, let us cling together. Hi, welcome to the after party with our producer, Guy. Yay!
Hi, Guy.
Hi, Guy.
How you doing?
Played Trails of Cold Steel.
Yeah, I didn't know you were doing this episode, and so like, you were like, I've been playing this RPG. I was like, are they doing a Cold Steel episode without me?
You know, I realized I was because this. I'm not trying to sound mean. This is gonna sound mean, and I'm not trying to be mean, but. You'll kind of bail on things for a week or two at a time, and then you'll kind of show back up, and like that's cool. That's totally fine. You know, you'll be busy with shit. Presumably, you'll be like, I'm fucking doing shit, or you're out of town, or
that's
whatever.
Thing I was going to talk about too, since I've been gone. So long.
I live with a person with ADHD. I know what it's like. You just will be like absent and be like, oh, I forgot that my friends existed, and then you're like, oh yeah, like I get it.
I was going to phrase all of that differently to say you've not been available for a little while, and we didn't want to commit you to a thing if we didn't know that you were going to be available.
I was right after we were starting the topic. I was like, shit, I don't. In my head, we all have the notes open, but why the fuck would you have the notes open?
Yeah.
And so in my head, I'm like, everyone knows what we're doing. And it was when we were starting the topic that I was like, shit, we're kind of springing this on Guy. He probably would have enjoyed being on the Cold Steel episode.
That's all right. There's a whole other episode to be on, so
it's true.
There is indeed.
Originally I was going to talk about my health knot issues.
Oh no. Oh yeah.
Part of the reason I've been gone. I'll get to that. You know, we call that a teaser. No, my order. All I wrote down was order Fee, Elisa, Emma.
Oh yeah.
Fee first, huh? Elisa, Fee, and Elisa over Emma.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and here's the thing. So then when you get to like the final one, then I pick Elisa because I don't want to see that with Fee.
Yeah, same. Fortunately,
Okay.
it is not romantic with Fee because I've seen them all now.
Oh, well, that's good to know.
Yes.
I can feel better going forward.
Yes.
Sorry, not to be super spoilery, but the final thing is sort of
spoily here.
a potential romantic engagement, and
Right.
that's like seems to be the way they lead all of the
Okay.
characters or female characters. And Fee being a child, I was like, I don't want to get vaguely romantic.
Uncomfortable. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable. Thanks, JRPG.
Yeah.
Right.
You did it. Laura's always my first pick.
Yeah. Laura and
'cause-
Emma were my first like choices, but I was like, nah, I better go see the canon option.
Yeah. Laura might be my favorite character.
Yeah.
Emma, I just like, you know,
Yeah, I didn't think of the teacher lady.
Oh yeah, Sarah.
Sarah. Yeah.
Sarah,
I like
yeah.
hers just
Sarah's
because like
best
Saturn, it's silly. It's
Yeah.
always goofy
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah, I like Fee because she and Reen are like besties, and
Yeah.
you know, Fee's kind of fucked up.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
It's great.
Yeah. We'll talk all about the characters in the next episode. For people who
Yeah.
have not played the game, we're going to introduce what all of this is eventually.
Sometimes I feel kind of bad because I don't go hang out with any of the male characters, but it's mostly because two of them are really annoying. I don't want to spoil anything. Two of them are really annoying. One of them is fine, and one of them is very tall and sexy, but just boring. Just so boring.
But he wants to tell you all about the wind, Justin.
God, I don't fucking. He's so boring.
There's
Just stop being so boring,
on
guys.
the Falcom subreddit. There was a long period of time where every picture of Gaius was accompanied by memes about the wind and how much he loves the wind. And let me tell you about the wind. And it was
I got some wind for you, guys.
it was like Gaius breaking into your home and being like, "Could I interest you in a 4-hour conversation about the wind?"
Yeah. No, I feel bad that we didn't because for whatever reason we make a point of never mentioning the topic before we say the topic
that's
on the
true.
show, like when we
As if it's a surprise to the people who see it on their feed.
Yeah, even on
Yeah.
the uncut, I notice us tiptoeing around
Yeah.
mentioning the actual topic. But everyone fucking knows what it is. I don't know why we do it. And I realized I was like, shit, we did the thing. Guy has no idea we're doing Trails of Cold Steel,
Yeah, it
and
didn't
he
occur to me
played this
either.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry about
Wow.
that. My bad.
No, that's fine. I appreciate that you recognized it and were anxious about it the entire hour and a half. So, you know, that's cool.
But yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been gone. Not like gone, but I haven't really been
No.
in things or doing
busy.
things with people. I don't know. I don't know how else to explain that.
Yeah.
It's been a sort of a busy summer, and like back in February, there's one weekend where like from like Friday evening through Sunday afternoon, if I got out of bed, my heart rate was like over 100,
Mm-hmm.
right? For no discernible reason. And I'm like, what the shit? This is weird. So like I went to the hospital, right? Like, am I dying?
Yeah.
And they're like, no, you're not dying. I'm like, okay. So what do I do?
Yeah, but
They're like,
hospitals always say that. Every time I've been in the hospital, they told me I'm not dying. Now, to their credit, I've yet to die at one.
Right. Yeah.
But eventually,
But eventually,
A long enough timeline.
oh my God. So yeah. So then it didn't happen again. And then it happened again for a while. And then like in May, it did again. And it's been happening like routinely, like every couple of weeks or more often, throughout the whole summer. So I went to the doctor, obviously like the first time and then the second time. And he got me set up. My regular doctor got me set up with like a cardiologist. And so I call, this is like late May, like I said, I'm not going to fuck around with like heart issues, right? Like let's figure this out. And I called the cardiologist and they're like, okay, we can see you on, July 3rd or something like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's like a month and a half out, y'all.
like, will I be alive then?
Right.
Yeah, as someone who has been to specialists a few times before, they are in no fucking hurry.
Right.
Not
I had
at
to
all.
go to. I had a prostate thing a few years ago. I mean, I have a prostate, but I had an issue with it. And so they're like, well, we need to go. You know, obviously, we want to make sure it's not anything really bad. We don't think it is, but you got to go see a specialist to check. So I call and I'm like, hey, will you see me? And they're like, well, we're booked up for most of the rest of this year. And I was like, they want to make sure it's not something really bad. And they're like, yeah, well, hopefully it's not, right? I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah, I had that same issue when they sent me to the neurologist to get a brain scan. They're like, yeah, we can see you in about 3-4 months.
Yeah, I have a fucking panic attack when my dentist is like, come back in 2 days to get this filling.
Right.
And I'm like, is it going to be okay until then?
Yeah, man. Oh, no, it was July 22nd was my appointment for the consultation. Right, I'm like, okay, great. They'll do all the tests. And I get there and they're like, okay, we need to schedule 3 more appointments. And I talked to the guy. Oh my God. So I talked to the guy and he's really nice. Like,
you're so mad. I can feel you never get mad and I can just feel you getting mad.
Like he's a real nice guy, but if you picture like swarmy cardiologist in your head,
all right,
that's kind of what you get. Like a smarmy, I think was the word I was actually looking for. But I don't know. It just something about the way that he comes off seems sort of aloof, right? And like like I'm in the middle of talking to him, telling him about like what's going on or whatever and how I'm feeling. And you know, in the middle of describing, he just starts talking like in the middle of me talking. I'm like, what the fuck? And he's like, I had a good visit with a very nice gentleman. And I noticed that he's like talking into a microphone or some shit.
Yeah.
So he's like dictating it to himself. And then it's like a speech to text on his computer. So he's like making edits like while he's talking, and then he's like hitting delete and then talk some more. And I'm just sitting there at this point. Like,
what's frustrating is because this is the specialist. And so if you're like, fuck this guy, you're 6 months out from seeing anybody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Because
I'm like, what is happening?
The guy.
And he's like describing everything. And then like, he was like, you know, we see a lot of this. In fact, we've been doing like a clinical trial about it, blah, blah, blah. And so he's like going through like a very thorough explanation of the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what he wants to do in the process, et cetera, et cetera. But he's not talking to me. He's talking to his computer the whole time for his future
At what
notes.
point do you stop him and be like, hey, buddy, your bedside needs a little bit of work?
Like, what the fuck? So anyway,
you should have took your phone out and been like, yeah, no, I'm at the doctor. This guy's a real fucking piece of shit. Keeps talking to his fucking computer. Yeah, no, it's my heart. I'm just worried about it. Yeah, no, I don't think he's fucking listening. He's a dumbass. Just dictate to someone else.
So then I go back and he's like, yeah, you know, go ahead. We had a conversation sort of after that or whatever. And he like listened to my heart for half a second. He's like, all right, well, we'll see you, you know, after the test. I'm like, okay. So I go talk to the lady up front and she's like, okay, well, we're going to schedule 3 appointments for you. I'm like, excuse me? What?
Mm-hmm.
I thought I was getting tests. And she's like, oh, no. This is a consultation. So we're going to schedule a test or an appointment next week. For you to do a stress test. And then
so where you come in and they make you read news headlines to see how quickly your heart rate spikes.
Yeah, that's normal.
yeah, absolutely. No, I'm sorry. It was the first one was to get a monitor put on to wear for like 7 days and do like a sonogram of my heart. And then then an appointment a week after that to do the stress test, which is no, I can't think of it. I can't stop thinking about what you said. The stress test is like you walk on a treadmill and it gets increasingly harder until you hit your your target heart rate, and then they do a sonogram on your heart after that.
Mm-hmm.
And then another appointment 2 weeks after that to talk about the results. I'm like, this is a fucking month from now, and I've been waiting for a month and a half. Okay, sure. And I got all the tests and like wore the monitor, and while I was wearing the monitor, my heart did a weird thing, did its weird thing.
Right. So they got to see it.
And I was like, yeah, they got to see it. So that's great. And like I went back to the cardiologist, for the tests, and I had figured out, what's going on before it. But the cardiologist, like, to summarize like the medical thing for people that are like worried about it or whatever, like, he basically said, no, everything's fine. Maybe like walk a little more. You got kind of tired.
A little more exercise. Yeah.
Yeah. You got tired a little faster than I would have liked, but you know, nothing alarming or anything. And then he like went through all the results and like was like, no, everything looks great. You know, you have like the heart of a late 30-year-old. And I'm like, okay, great. I'm in my 40s.
Right.
Awesome.
So great. Medically, everything's fine. But no, what I figured out, and I'm so mad about this. I'm so mad.
Because I feel like you're about to tell us that it's something dumb that was causing it. And I do want to say this. I want to say this because credit where credit is due. Men statistically die all the time because they don't go to doctors for shit, because they don't think it's serious, because they're worried it's going to be something dumb or they're embarrassed or whatever. So I want to say that, good on you
Right.
for having a medical concern, following through with the specialist, going all the way through all the steps to make sure nothing was. So I'm sure you feel dumb about it, but you shouldn't.
Right.
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
No, I don't feel dumb about it. I feel like very comforted by it.
Okay,
The whole
all right, good.
process. And like, it helped ease the anxiety when the cardiologist is like, no, you're fine. We did the tests, right?
Yeah.
Because like the first time I went to the hospital, I was like talking to Chris, like, I don't want to die. This sucks.
Yeah. It's scary.
I'm in my 40s. I'm not ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's get this.
Anyone
figured
that's
out.
never been sitting in a hospital waiting room for an issue that you're not sure what it fucking is terrifying.
Yeah.
And the second time it
Terrifying
happened, or I guess there's the third time it happened. It was like my kid's birthday. I'm like, I cannot die today.
Oof.
Yeah.
Like that would be awful.
Yeah. If I die today, prop me up and tell him it happened tomorrow. I mean, oh my God. Weekend at Bernie's me at least until tomorrow morning, please.
But anyway, so a couple days. So like the weekend we had our thing in Flower Mound.
D&D getaway?
Yeah, D&D getaway. There you go. Like my the first night, like my heart rate was like went up into like hundreds, and I took some ibuprofen and like went down like 45 minutes later.
Yeah.
So like the rest of the weekend, I'm just like fucking chewing ibuprofen. I don't know if you noticed. I went to the store the next morning and got some more.
Oh yeah, you did, didn't you? Yeah.
Yeah. So like, so I noticed like that helped. And I was like, I guess that makes sense somehow. Sure that maybe there's inflammation that's like, telling my heart, yeah, I'm not getting enough blood or something like that, right?
Yeah. Sure.
No idea, but it made it better. And I went to the doctor, my regular doctor, for I was starting to get kind of sick.
Mhm.
It ended up being like a cold or something. Gave me a big B12 shot. And I was talking to him about the heart thing, and I was like, my wife noticed that every time her allergies get real bad, my heart starts getting weird. And he goes, why would your wife's allergies have anything to do with your heart? I was like, no, I thought maybe it was like a allergies thing, and like my nasal cavity was like, sending signals to my heart or some shit. He literally goes, no, your nose bone isn't connected to your heart bone. God damn it.
Did he sing it?
No. Man, it made me laugh though. And I was like, no, I just thought maybe there was like, something like blood flow wise. And he's like, no, that's not how that works. And he kind of explained it. And I'm like, okay, great. But anyway, so I was feeling kind of weird when we, like I said, a little bit before my cardiologist appointment. Like I had this like burning in my back, a burning in my chest, and like the back of my arms and hands were like sensitive.
Oof.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's not good.
Yeah.
No.
What's happening? And it was like going on all day. And, and I'm at that point in this process where like, it's happened so many times that I'm like, I'm going to survive this. Just fucking, power through it. Like,
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sure I'll be fine, but I'm like worried about it.
Right.
But anyway, so then I had this thought all of a sudden, and I was like, or no, I'm sorry. I was playing with like the pain in my chest, and like I like jiggled my boobie,
Mm-hmm.
like you do,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and the pain like moved around with the muscle,
Oh.
and immediately I was like, oh, it's not my heart
it's not
at
your
all.
heart. No.
If I can move the pain with my boobie,
Yeah.
it's not my heart.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I've been thinking about this entirely backwards. It's not my heart that's causing pain everywhere else, including my back. It's my fucking back
Mm-hmm.
there's a knot in my back that is burning.
You had
And
pinched
it's
nerve,
making me
didn't you?
feel that pain everywhere else.
Oh no.
And then I got to thinking about it. And like the very first time it happened, I've been sitting here playing Magic the Gathering on my PC and watching a hockey game on the TV above my PC.
Right. Right.
Like you do and like the wall,
Yeah, totally.
the wall I can reach almost with like stretching out my hand from where I'm sitting, like behind a mic behind my desk. So like I can reach the wall probably from like my regular sitting position, to give you an idea how far the wall is. And then it's probably about I don't know, half a foot above my head is where the TV is. And it's
so
like
totally
a 40-inch
normal
TV.
neck angle is what you're saying.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're craning your fucking neck to watch hockey while you're hunched over at the desk and fucking your back up.
Yes. That is entirely the problem.
Good
And
job.
then I came to think about like all summer I've been in this office with like the
Yeah.
TV on because like work's been kind of slow or whatever, or like the kids are home and I don't want to like kick them out of the media room or blah, blah, blah. So ever since then, I have not turned that TV on, first off. And like I went and got a massage, and like the next day, like my entire back was sore, like I'd been working out super hard, like all the like lactic acid and shit that was built up in that knot went to the rest of my back. I was like, Jesus Christ. And yeah, I've been fine ever since that massage. And since like paying attention to my posture and shit again.
Yeah.
And like I sent y'all like a picture the other day, like in the afternoon, pretty consistently at this point, my heart rate dips down into the upper 50s for an hour or two.
Nice.
That's real low. That's
Yeah,
like,
it's great. That means my heart's in good shape.
yeah.
So yeah, that's been my adventure. And feeling shitty for swaths of almost every week. I've just been not doing anything really.
Yeah. No, I get it.
But now I'm
Well,
back.
we're glad you're healthy.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I am
Very
also
glad.
at that age where every tiny pain or whatever, I'm like, oh, I'm dying now. This
Is the one.
Yeah.
This is
Because I was at the office the other day, and I had said something about how the skin on my arm was feeling kind of sensitive, and they're like, that's weird. And I was like, it's kind of like how when you're sick and like your whole body kind of feels sensitive, and they're like, no, I don't know what that is. I was like, oh shit,
what?
shit, is there something wrong with me? Am I dying?
Oh, God. I have a tremendous amount of health anxiety.
Yeah.
And it gets worse as I get older, because as you get older,
Right.
you just actually have health
Yeah.
problem. When you're young, you can explain it away in your own head. But every year that passes, I'm like, no. One day I'm going to be right. And
Right.
knowing that my anxiety will one day be justified
Yeah. Like, is this the day?
preemptively is like guys sitting here talking about his heart, and I'm sitting here like, is something wrong with my heart?
Yeah,
Maybe something's wrong
exactly.
with my heart. And I don't know. And you're like, that's not, stop. Fucking stop it. Like, that's not how that works.
Right. Well, it's contagious.
It's not going to give you a heart condition
Yeah.
by talking to you about one.
It's-
That's not.
It's contagious via Zoom.
It's the ring of medical systems.
Yeah, you listen to me complain about my heart condition, and then you get one 7 days
Well,
later.
you have to
That-
complain to somebody else about it, or you will get it.
Right, that's it. I gotta be like, oh no.
Right. Yeah. No, this is my insurance in case I was going to die, So now all of y'all can go,
Yeah.
make somebody else listen to this.
Yeah.
Well, I hate to speed it along, but we're at almost 2 hours for just the cut show, and we're pushing 2.25 hours for the uncut show.
Well,
Quality
at least we were able to pass the curse along to all of the listeners. So now they have
Right.
to go complain about their heart to somebody.
There you go. Anyway, got that. Thanks for doing an after party.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Maybe we'll do another one of these. Maybe we'll keep you around. I don't know. We'll see.
Okay.
We'll end your probation you've been on for 6 years.
Yeah.
It's mighty kind of you.
I think it's been longer
I'll
than
send
6
it up
years
to the
now,
committee
hasn't
and
it?
see what they think. Do what?
I think it's been longer than
Since-
6 years now.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
it's
gotta
almost
be
8.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be almost 8. Yeah, because I've been in this house for almost 9, and it was a
Yeah.
little bit after I moved here. Because I
Right.
remember standing up here pacing back and forth, being like, "Who the fuck just subscribed to our Patreon at $100? Oh my god, what kind of psycho?"
Are we
and I was
supposed
like
to pleasure
having.
him now? What's going on?
I was having a straight up anxiety attack.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh my god, we didn't think anyone would fucking do. Who the fuck has done this?"
I can't believe you've done
And then
this.
Pablo's like, "That's my brother." And I was like, "You have a brother?"
I thought you just lived in
Anyway.
a hole and did editing.
We gotta go. We gotta get out of here. We'll see you next time. Thanks. Goodbye.
Bye.